Schaaf. Kevin.
Here.
Shoot.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. We're going to start off by hearing 13 bills in a row that all name days or declare Missouri the Purple Heart State or something like that. I want the people present to know that the floor leader asked us to go back in at 3 o'clock instead of our usual 4 o'clock. So instead of having 2 hours, we only had scheduled 1 hour. Now, I've pulled all the members of my committee, and I'm not aware of any opposition to these 13 bills. So when we're going to hear these bills in the order that they were printed on the announcement, and what I would ask is that each of these they're all House bills, so the sponsor, please come up and say something on the order of, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this creates the Engineer Awareness Week, period. If any of my members have any questions, they'll ask. If you already know that your bill is likely 99.99% chance going to be exec on, once we hear these 13 bills, you realize that we don't really need to hear any more witnesses. But we can't stop you from coming if you have it in your heart to talk to the committee. But I want to make it very clear that that will not help your chances of your bill being exec on. Because we don't have a lot of time, which is very precious today. So if any of my members wish to hear from your witnesses, I'm sure one of them will raise their hand. And if we can get through these and exec on them, then we can get on to some other bills that have a little bit more substantial purpose. So when your bill is ready, please come up and maybe sit down by the other reps and let's just crank these out. I have that it's 5 after on the clock on the wall. Let's see if we can do these bills on the order of like 1 bill per minute. Okay, we're now open up a hearing on House Bill 361, Representative Spencer.
Yes, Representative Brian Spencer of Western St. Charles, Eastern Warren County. My bill creates the 3rd week of February as Engineer Awareness Week.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, does anybody wish to testify in favor of the bill? Does anybody wish to testify in opposition to the bill? Informational purposes, this closes the hearing on House Bill 361. House Bill 88.
Good afternoon, Rochelle Walton, representing for the record. This bill designates July 3rd of each year as Organ Donor Recognition Day and recommends that the people of the state observe and participate. And you have all.
Are there any questions of this sponsor? Seeing none, anybody wish to testify in favor? Anybody wishing to testify in opposition on an informational basis? This closes the hearing on House Bill 88. House Bill 400, Representative Peters. Representative Whelan, you want to run down and present the bill?
Sure.
It, by the way, it creates Epilepsy Awareness Month.
I don't think he's running.
If you want, you can just stay down there. Representative Whelan will present this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Whelan, on behalf of Representative Peters, House Bill 400, Epilepsy Awareness Month. Thank you. I rest my case.
Okay, I've just been told that we typically don't have senators present for reps.
Okay.
So we'll ask another rep to please present the bill. Thank you, Senator. I didn't mean to call you representative, by the way. Okay. Right, okay, didn't know that rule.
Thank you, Representative Becky Ruth, District 114, presenting House Bill number 400, Epilepsy Awareness Month.
Thank you. Any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anyone what would like to testify in favor of the bill? Anyone wishing to testify in opposition to the bill? How about for informational purposes? Seeing none, this closes the hearing on House Bill 400, House Bill 402, Representative Phillips.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members of the committee, Representative Dunn, Phillips, District 138. 402 is Missouri State voting.
Any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anybody wanting to testify for the bill? In opposition, information purposes, this closes the hearing on 402. Next, 403.
The famous Purple Heart State.
Questions of the sponsor? In favor? Oh, question. Senator Schaaf, we have a question.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Actually, it's a comment. I have a bill that's moving forward that has to do with Purple Heart veterans and about their license plates. You may know that when you request a license plate as a Purple Heart veteran, it's free of charge until you go to renew it. And then there's a charge for renewal. Now, I would love to amend that onto your bill, but I know you're trying to get this through consent. Is there any way that you would consider putting on an amendment to allow, and I will defer to your wishes, but to allow this this additional bill to be attached here so that we could get both of these things done for our Purple Heart veterans?
Sure, if that's all.
That's all it is. It's really simple and straightforward. So thank you. Then I'm going to ask to offer that amendment when we exec, if you don't mind. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure. Okay. And do you, Senator Schaaf, do you have that amendment ready?
I will get that amendment.
All right. Okay. Anyone, any other questions? Anyone who wishes to testify for the bill in opposition? Informational purposes. That closes the hearing on House Bill 403. Next, House Bill 404.
Peace Officers Memorial Week. That concludes my agenda.
Questions of this fund? Seeing none. Anyone wishing to testify in favor of the bill? Opposition to the bill for informational purposes? Seeing none, that closes the hearing on House Bill 404, House Bill 567. Representative Dunn.
House Bill 567 is an Alpha Phi Alpha Day.
Any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, those wishing to testify in favor? In opposition? On informational purposes, this closes the hearing on House Bill 567, House Bill 859.
House Bill 859 is Jackie Robinson Day.
Any questions of the sponsor? Those in favor? Those in opposition? Informational purposes? Seeing none, that closes the hearing on House Bill 859, House Bill 778.
Becky Ruth, District 114, creates the 22nd week of each year as 22q11 Awareness Week.
Which is a chromosomal disorder. Any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify in favor of the bill? In opposition to the bill? Informational purposes? Seeing none, that closes the hearing on House Bill 778, House Bill 861. Representative Fitzwater.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. It's Travis Fitzwater, 49th District, here to testify for House Bill 861 MS Awareness Week.
Awesome. Any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify for the bill? Opposition to the bill? Informational purposes? Seeing none, that closes the hearing on House Bill 861. House Bill 874.
I'm here on behalf of Representative Tim Renwick to make the hearing. It's just basically Walt Disney is a day to dream day.
Any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify in favor of the bill? In opposition? Informational purposes, that closes the hearing on House Bill 874. Next, House Bill 1160. Representative Brader.
Thank you so much. House Bill 1116 is Rowhead Awareness Day, and this Rowhead is a rapid onset obesity that hits children in the first 10 years of life. And so this would designate May 7th as their awareness day.
Very good. Questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify in favor of the bill? In opposition to the bill? For informational purposes, that closes the hearing on House Bill 1116, House Bill 1119. Representative Redmond. Representative Brader, would you be willing to present House Bill 1119? It's Missouri Line Worker Appreciation Day. That's all you really have to say.
Liner, wonderful, and I'd like to present this bill.
Okay, any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify in favor of Line Worker Appreciation Day? Anyone in opposition? On informational purposes. This closes the hearing on House Bill 1119. Thank you, Representative. Okay, now entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Do I hear a second? Second. Moved by Senator Whelan to go into executive session, seconded by Senator Higgins. Is that correct? We're in executive session. The chair moves do pass House Bill 361. Discussion? Seeing none? Mr. Okay.
Second.
Okay, we don't have to like move to take up the thing.
No, we just need a second.
Okay, just a second. Okay, second by Senator Onder. Okay, Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf. Aye. Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 4 ayes, 0 no, you have moved do pass House Bill 361. The chair moves do pass House Bill 361 consent.
I'm sorry, it was five.
Second, 5-0. Seconded by Dr. Whelan. Dr. Whelan. Senator Whelan. Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf. Aye. Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
5-0. By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 361 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 88. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf. Aye. Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 88 do pass. The chair moves that House Bill 88 be do pass consent. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
5-0. By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 88 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 400. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
5-0. By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 400 do pass. The chair moves that House Bill 400 be voted do pass consent. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye. Can I ask a question? I understood before Senator Kevney left that he left his vote
We'll
with you, but it doesn't,
We'll put them down as
it counts,
ayes
but
on all
it
the
doesn't,
votes.
okay,
Well, that would make all of it 6-0.
right, except I don't know if he's
Then we'll
allowed to
just
vote on
vote
the
it.
consent one.
We'll fix it.
All right.
Okay. Next, you have, by your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 400 do pass consent. Next, the chair moves that House Bill 402 be voted to pass. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 402 do pass. The chair moves that House Bill 402 be passed consent. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 402 do pass consent. Are you ready, or should we just skip that one?
I have it here, but we need to make some copies. If you want to wait, we can come back.
Okay, we'll
Read it.
We'll come back to House Bill 403. The chair moves House Bill 404 do pass. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 404 do pass. The chairman moves House Bill 404 do pass consent. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 404 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 567. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Whelan.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Schaaf. Kevin. Shoot.
Aye.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 567 do pass. The chair moves that House Bill 567 be passed consent. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schatz. Kennedy. Schaaf.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted that House Bill 567 be passed consent. The chair moves House Bill 859 be voted to pass.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. None. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy. Schaaf.
By your vote of 5-0, you have voted House Bill 859 do pass. The chair moves that House Bill 859 be voted to pass consent.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 859 to pass consent. The chair moves that House Bill 778 be voted to pass. Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 778 to pass. The chair moves House Bill 778 be passed consent. Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Call the roll. That's 770.
Oh,
consent. Okay.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 778 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 861.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 861 do pass. The chair moves House Bill 861 do pass consent.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 861 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 874.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 874 do pass. The chair moves that House Bill 874 be passed consent.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 874 do pass consent. House Bill 1116, the chair moves do pass House Bill 1116.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 1116 do pass. The chair moves House Bill 1116 be passed consent.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 1116 do pass consent. The chair moves House to do pass House Bill 1119.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. Seeing none.
The wonderful bill.
What?
The wonderful bill.
It is a wonderful bill. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 1119 to pass. The chair moves that House Bill 1119 be voted to pass consent.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeling.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kennedy.
Aye.
Schaaf.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 1119 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 403. Seconded by Senator Wheeland. Discussion. I'm sure you have.
We're ready.
Senator Schaaf.
Yes, thank you. This is regarding House Bill 403. We have an amendment that, as you heard, the sponsor agreed to allow me to put on. It should be in front of you. It simply takes out two words that, or three words, that refer to the initial set of Purple Heart license plates being free, and it allows them to be free upon renewal. This will cost the state about $525 a year. And, you know, I said if I needed to, I'd write a check. In the Senate, we could actually send this through consent with that $525 fiscal note if we add this on. So I'm going to also ask for consent on this bill if we do adopt the amendment.
Okay. Questions or discussion? Yeah, just real quick. Not that I have any problem with what you're doing, but are we going from one chapter to a different chapter? Are we in the same chapter?
We're in a different chapter. We're just still talking about Purple Heart veterans, but we are in a different chapter, yes.
Or we have to amend the title? We would. Okay. As long as we do it right. I'm not opposed to what you're trying to do.
I
just want to make sure
appreciate
we do it correctly. Yeah.
So the motion is to add this language that's in this bill that you have in your hand and to amend the title to cover it. Does everybody understand? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of passing this amendment to House Bill 403? Well, we're going to roll it into the committee, so that could be passed the amendment, correct?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor of that motion to amend, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The amendment is adopted. Now we will roll this into a committee sub, and I will entertain a motion to pass the committee sub. Adopt the committee sub.
I move to adopt the committee sub.
Okay, seconded by Senator Wieland. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor of adopting the committee sub, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. That's good. The ayes do have it. We've adopted the committee sub. Now, I'll just go ahead and move to pass Senate committee sub for House Bill 403 as amended. Seconded by Senator Wieland. Discussion, seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheelan.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye, and thank you very much for allowing it.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted Senate committee substitute for House Bill 403 do pass. The chair moves that Senate committee substitute for House Bill 403 do pass consent.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Wieland. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheelan.
Aye.
Hageman.
Aye.
Onder.
Aye.
Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 403, Senate committee substitute do pass consent. So we just now passed 13 bills, heard and passed 13 bills in 20 minutes. Not bad. Thank you, committee. Now we have 40 minutes to hear 5 more bills, which we may have to recess at some point and come back. But looks like Representative Lira is queued up, ready to go on House Bill 326. We'll now open a hearing on House Bill 326.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Lira. Thank you for the bill. Representing 96th District, here to present House Bill 326. Does not memorialize any highway or any day of the year, but it is a consent bill. I would ask that it would continue through this committee's consent, and it just essentially we passed a bill last year that required continuing education for Board of Trustee members of pension systems, and we need to narrowly define that as defined benefit plans. It is not the intent of the bill, subsequently the law, to require all defined contribution plans to have continuing education also. We have 2 rules.
Seems pretty simple. Remember, I'll just remind everyone in the room that we are short on time today. Are there any questions of the sponsor about the bill?
I'm sorry.
Senator Schaaf, no worries.
Good afternoon. I just have a quick question. Why just defined benefit and not defined contribution?
Because trustees of a defined benefit plan have a fiduciary responsibility far beyond defined contribution.
Okay.
They manage the assets ultimately, and they're responsible in some cases for $30 billion of funds in a defined contribution plan. It's a 401k.
Right, got it. Thank you.
Okay, other questions? Seeing none, is there anyone who wishes to testify in favor of House Bill 326? Seeing none, does anyone wish to testify in opposition to House Bill 326? Seeing none, does anyone wish to testify on an informational basis? Okay, and you have requested consent staff. Yes. Okay. This will close the hearing on House Bill 326, and we will now open a hearing on House Bill 515.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 515 relates to only the St. Louis City Police Retirement System. Several years ago, local control was handed back from the state of Missouri to the St. Louis City and the fire department and the police. Their pension system, we had to make some changes. It's kind of been an ongoing process. Every year we've had to tweak. What this really does is really changes the medical board that was chosen by the police commission that no longer exists to the mayor's choice. It could be a hospital or doctors, wherever they choose. And I don't believe there's any opposition, but I am not asking for this to continue as consent. We have an amendment that we expect either in committee or on the floor of the Senate that we would ask to remove the consent of this bill.
You want this bill to be a consent bill?
Not
a consent?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And I was just checking. This bill has a fiscal amount now?
No, I don't believe so.
No, neither did the last one. Okay, so are there any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, does anyone wish to testify in favor of House Bill 515?
We have one.
Afternoon, Senator. Thank you very much for your time and consideration of legislation. My name is Stephen Olis. I'm the Executive Director of the Police Retirement System of St. Louis. It is, I can't think of anything that Representative Lira hasn't already said. Just change transfers duties that were once for the Board of Police Commissioners to any successor body or the Chief of Police.
And once again, you do not need this to be a consent bill.
I'm asking for it not to move forward consent.
Okay.
Or to move forward without consent. That's what I'm asking. We have an amendment we want to add to this.
Okay, I understand. So do you have that amendment?
I do not.
Okay, so we'll have to do that on the floor.
I believe so.
Okay, I got you. Okay, any questions of this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else wishing to testify in favor of House Bill 515? Anyone wishing to testify in opposition to House Bill 515? Anyone wishing to testify for Seeing none, this will close the hearing on House Bill 515.
Senator, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I have a quick question.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. Could you just give us an idea, I know you don't have the amendment in front of you, but what you're trying to change?
Yeah, we had a bill that was filed on the last day. 3 parties came in agreement, the St. Louis Mayor's Office, the Police Officers Association, and the Retirement System in order to offer the opportunity for the airport police to move their pension benefit into the police retirement system. And we believe that there's an agreement. We just put it on a bill today in the House as an amendment. All 3 parties were in agreement, and we'd like to add that to this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? Seeing none, that closes the hearing on House Bill 515. We'll now open the hearing on House Bill 629.
Mr. Chairman, House Bill 629 is quite simple. Every few years, the IRS sends language to retirement plans, whether it's defined benefit, defined contribution. They change their language and the requirement of trust documents, et cetera. And since this is a statutory plan, we have to pass a law, and the IRS wants some tweaks, and that's what this does.
And so basically, it's the language on pages 3 and 5. It's pretty much it.
It's for beneficiaries, non-spouse beneficiaries, and they changed the language.
The bill does not have a fiscal note?
No.
And are you asking for consent
Yeah.
status? Are there any questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, does anyone wish to testify in favor of House Bill 629?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Mark Bruns on behalf of Kansas City Fraternal Order Police, we're in support of the bill.
Okay. Any questions of this witness? Seeing none, anyone else wishing to testify in favor?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Jim Pyle. I'm the director of the Kansas City Police Employees Retirement System, and we are here in favor of this bill. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions of this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anyone else in favor of House Bill 629? Anyone wishing to testify in opposition to House Bill 629? On informational purposes. Okay, seeing none, this will close the hearing on House Bill 629. And because of the fact that he's asked for consent status, we have to exec this bill out today, meaning that I don't know how much time is going to be required for the last two bills, which I can guarantee are not consent bills. We will go ahead and have our executive session on these three bills, unless I hear any objections on this. And do I have a motion to go into executive session? Moved by Senator Onder, seconded by Senator Cavanagh. In executive session, I guess I don't need to take a vote on going into executive session. We are in executive session. First, the chair will move to pass House Bill 326. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeler. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted to pass House Bill 326. The chair moves that House Bill 326 be declared to pass consent. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf.
Aye.
Wheeler. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye.
6-0.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 326 do pass consent. The chair moves do pass House Bill 515. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf. Aye. Wheeler. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye.
6-0.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted do pass House Bill 515. The chair moves do pass House Bill 629. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Discussion. Seeing none, call the roll.
Senator Schaaf. Aye. Wheeler. Aye. Hageman. Aye. Onder. Aye. Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted do pass House Bill 629. The chair moves do pass House Bill 629. Seconded by Senator Whelan. Call the roll.
Senator Schaaf. Aye. Wheeler. Aye. Hageman.
Aye.
Onder. Aye. Schatz. Kevin.
Aye.
Schaaf.
Aye.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted House Bill 629 to pass consent. Now we will go out of executive session and we will open a hearing on Senate Bill 549. Senator. And it is 25 minutes until.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, Bob Onder, representing District 2 in St. Charles County. Thank you for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 549, the Government Union Accountability Act. This bill is aimed at several issues involving government unions. First, Missouri government workers should have a voice in who represents them and their financial interests. Most government union members now have never themselves voted on their representation. Decertification process exists, but under present law it's burdensome, and workers who pursue it risk retaliation. Senate Bill 549 calls for recertification elections every 2 years, conducted by the Board of Mediation, allowing workers to renew their current representation, choose new representation, or choose no exclusive representative. This can be done efficiently and cost effectively, can be done potentially by a telephone voting system. Secondly, government unions in Missouri operate often in a cloud of secrecy not tolerated in other areas. Private sector labor unions must file financial disclosures with the Department of Labor that are available to their members and to the public, while government unions are not held to the same standard of transparency. Senate Bill 549 requires annual financial reporting by these unions. Likewise, Missouri's Sunshine Law requires almost all government meetings to be open to the public. Public government bodies, while public government bodies routinely close meetings regarding union negotiations. In these meetings, elected officials set policies, work rules, and procedures. Senate Bill 549 classifies government union labor agreement meetings as public meetings, so citizens, union members, and taxpayers can attend these meetings. Finally, at present, some government union contracts contain provisions known as evergreen clauses. These clauses can bind parties to the original contract terms for many years beyond the expiration date of the contract. This is a problem because taxpayers can end up being bound to an agreement negotiated in good economic times, even though the economy is in a recession. So Senate Bill 549 bans evergreen clauses. It is important to remember that in government unions, the employer is the government and by extension, the taxpayers of the state. Senate Bill 549 aims to bring transparency and accountability to the conduct of the business of government. I thank you for the hearing, for your attention, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
I've never seen a bill that had a $1,867,000,000 fiscal note before.
Yeah, you want to comment on that? Oh, it's only 1 million?
1 million.
Oh, I'm
1
sorry.
million.
I'm sorry.
1 million, and
1 million.
yeah, 1 million, I was gonna say, I must have misread the note. Yeah, so in that fiscal note, the Board of Mediation assumes they'll need 21 additional FTEs. I think that these elections can be conducted efficiently, less expensively using technology as they have been in the one other state that has a similar provision. So I think that's a little high, but no, it's not $1 billion. Thank goodness.
It's just 120.
Thank you.
Questions of the
sponsor. Senator Schaaf.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Senator.
I have never heard of telephone voting before. I'm curious about that. What does that mean?
Interestingly, Wisconsin has a law requiring actually annual recertification elections. And I'm not familiar with the details either, Senator, but they do have a telephone voting system where they use an ID and password, and they enter their votes that way. But certainly, the elections could be done the old-fashioned way with paper ballots.
And is this fiscal note based on a telephone?
No, it's based on the assumption that two things. One is that 21 FTEs would be required. And the other assumption is that during the years, again, this calls for elections in even-numbered years, every 2 years. And the fiscal note assumes that they also need to hire 760 temporary election officers to physically conduct the election. So, in other words, there are more efficient ways to do and cost-effective ways to do these elections.
I have many questions and concerns
Sure.
about the bill, but I know that there are probably
There are other
witnesses
witnesses,
here.
sure, I'm
So
sure.
I would like to just reserve the right to come back after, and thank
Feel
you.
free, thank you.
No problem. Further questions of the sponsor? Seeing none, do you have witnesses on the list?
I do, but you can just call them.
Okay. Anyone wishing to testify in favor of Senate Bill 549, come forward. Tell us who you are.
Hi, my name is John Wright. I'm with the Show Me Institute. I'm testifying in support. So Missouri could benefit from government union reform. Existing law contains a set of loopholes and oversights that harm the transparency of our public institutions and make it harder for citizens to hold their government accountable. When I started looking at this issue, I saw that the legal framework for government collective bargaining has a number of inadequacies. It's not a design system. It's the product of a 50-year-old statute that created a meet and confer process, and then a series of court decisions that read federal and private sector labor law concepts into government labor relations, and then common practices that have evolved over time. As a result of this lack of design, there are inadequacies, the lack of transparency that Senator Onder just mentioned, and then the lack of accountability. There's that the union elections would help address. So there's four kind of, I would characterize them as common sense reforms. Union elections, they give workers a voice. It fixes the loopholes in the transparency in the open records laws that allow public bodies to hold collective bargaining sessions behind closed doors. And this has already been Monarch Fire Protection District and Columbia Public Schools already do this with good results. Third, it brings government union financial transparency up to the same level as private sector unions. Private sector unions are regulated under federal law, the LMRDA. They have to make these LM filings, LM2s. Government unions should be at least as transparent as private sector unions. And finally, there's the provisions that address the evergreen clauses, the clauses that make a union contract last forever. These reforms are intended to make government more responsive to the public while also preserving the voices of workers.
Okay, any questions of this witness? See none. Thank you very much. You could fill out a witness form. Anyone else wishing to testify in favor of Senate Bill 549? Senator.
Senator to you, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Good to be here, Mr. Chairman and committee. I was going to start by saying I wish when I sat in your seat a few years ago, I knew what I now know. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you today. After I did leave the Senate, I was elected to a local 3-member board for the Monarch Fire Protection District in West St. Louis County. And I'm here today.
I need you to stick your name for the record.
I will do that. Thank you very much. You miss a lot when you leave here. Forget it. Jane Cunningham from Chesterfield. I apologize. I can put some meat on this because I've had the experience of just some of the provisions that Senator Onder put in his bill. One, with regard to making sure that labor negotiations are done in the public. It really makes common sense when you're talking about the financial negotiations, salaries, benefits, work rules, that the public should be able the public should be able to watch that. It is their money. But it's interesting, when we started this in 2013 in our contract negotiations, the people that came the most were the labor union members. And that surprised me. But then I realized there are two stakeholders in this negotiation: the labor union members who pay dues and the taxpayers who pay for the service that they get. So what you want is you want to be able for them to see that both sides are being vigorously represented as they should be. The other advantage of putting this in, sounds like it keeps going up. At any rate, the other advantage to put this in the public is because if people can see what's going on, they're able to see in the light of day whether both sides are truly being represented as they deserve, or if one side is only being represented as it should not be. There should be two sides to that bargaining table: labor on one side, taxpayers on the other side. And if they're not, when you can see it in public, you can tell what's going on. The second thing I would like to comment on is the evergreen clause. It's called evergreen because it never dies. And what happened in our district is, before I was elected, a union majority board signed on to a very lavish collective bargaining agreement with an evergreen clause that would never end. To quote the union attorney in one of our negotiation sessions, he said, "Your taxpayers are obligated, quote, until the stars fall from the skies," end quote. That evergreen clause resulted in the union not being motivated at all to bargain in good faith, because they knew they had already a really good collective bargaining agreement, and they didn't want to do anything with that unless they got an even better one. So what they did is, during a time when a pro-taxpayer board was in place, they kept those lavish agreements, waiting until they can elect a more friendly union board and then ratchet up those benefits and lock them in one more time. But evergreen clauses also can disadvantage the employees union. And so it locks a contract in for them also that they may not be able to fairly change. Senate Bill 549 is a balanced approach that protects both sides from having to litigate out of an objectionable contract that has no end in sight. In our situation, to bring relief to our taxpayers, we're suing to get the courts to declare this evergreen clause unenforceable under current case law. So far, we have spent over $100,000 in legal fees just seeking closure of this contract that should have ended in 2013. Dr. Onder's legislation will correct this miscarriage of the public trust and save other local governments precious taxpayer funds. One other thing I found out, that I didn't have in my comments, but he had mentioned being transparent about the union funds to the union members. I just found out last night from one of our shop members that they collect $460,000 every election cycle, that's every 2 years, $460,000 in union dues just in my little fire district. And those union members have no clue how it's spent. They don't know if they're going out to the bar on that money. They don't know what's spent on elections. They don't know anything. And it's unfair if the private sectors get to know this and the public sector union members have no clue how their money is spent. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there questions of this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Be sure to fill out a witness form.
I did. Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to testify in favor of Senate Bill 540?
Hi, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity today to testify in favor of Dr. Hunter's legislation. My name is Michael Hafner. I'm the Director of Government Relations for Missouri Century Foundation. So it was the Missouri Century Foundation is an organization created earlier this year to promote free market, forward-looking and thinking policies for our state. We believe it's time for Missouri to consider these common sense pro-worker reforms put forth in Senate Bill 549. As you've heard before, it's a recertification bill along with numerous accountability and transparency measures. Senate Bill 549 addresses transparency negotiations, financial records, allows government union workers to have a voice in choosing their union, and it ensures the sustainability of agreements between government and government unions. You're going to hear from a number of people today, I'm sure, that say this legislation is anti-union. We do not believe that. We firmly believe that a union should exist and work for its members. And Senate Bill 549 includes reforms that will benefit the government union workers of our state. Again, these probably know these reforms only affect government unions. We believe that unions negotiate with and spend taxpayer dollars and need to be held accountable to the taxpayers of Missouri.
Okay. Are there questions of this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Be sure to fill out a witness form. Anyone else in favor of Senate Bill 549? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 549? Please come forward. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Otto Fajan speaking on behalf of Missouri National Education Association. Our association represents about 35,000 public employees in the state of Missouri working in our Missouri public schools. I have yet to hear on behalf of any of our members clamoring for any of these provisions. We have some significant concerns, however, both on behalf of the association in its representation of employees, and also if you look at the issue as it relates to Missouri NEA as an employer. I'm going to speak to that first. One of the things this bill does is it limits the ability of an employer to engage in negotiations for more than a 2-year period of time. An employer may wish to do that. Missouri NEA came to my staff union some years ago, and they wanted to do a 5-year contract. That was their issue. And those of us who have real experience in collective bargaining, it's about having the management, labor, get together and say, what are our big issues? And if you know what's right in terms of managing your own relationships or in terms of labor relationships, you need to make sure you take care of what's important to people that you are working with. And so we didn't bring that issue to the table, but the association, our employer, brought that issue. We were able to negotiate a 5-year contract. Let's be clear, INEA decision from 2007 is when the Supreme Court reversed its ruling and said it's okay. So public sector employee collective bargaining under Article 1, Section 29 is a relatively new phenomenon. But It doesn't have any enforcing statute that relates to teachers or peace officers. And there is certainly nothing in the existing law in Chapter 105 that forces the hand of any employer to bargain any particular agreement. There's no arbitration, there's no structure that does anything more than require that you meet and confer. And so there is no provision that really compels an employer, but if they choose to do that, for goodness sakes, why would we want to restrict the local control, the idea that a school board, for instance, might wish to engage in a contract, and it may or may not be just about financials, or it may be that they want to do a longer term on some other issue. But there's no particular reason why you should bind the hands of an employer who is not compelled to restrict their ability to work with the local association in doing the kind of contract that they want to do. Moreover, none of our members has to be a part of our association or any other organization, and I'm also going to be turning in a form on behalf of the American Federation of Teachers. It is up to every education employee's decision whether they want to be a part of one of those organizations. They can change, they can be part of none of those organizations. They can make that decision at any point, and they can make an amendment to that decision at any point. So we have a lot of concern about imposing a lot more paperwork, and frankly, the idea that we would impose a requirement that all roughly 1,000 elections be conducted on a single day, it probably will cost a lot. And it will be creating a lot of chaos because our schools are also being used that very same day for general elections. And so we're going to actually have to be scrambling to figure out how can we conduct a representational election the very same day that same school site is being used for a general election. And so for those reasons, we think this bill needs a lot more scrutiny. We think that there's very little that the committee should move forward on in any regard in the current language. But we would be happy to work with the committee, answer any questions they have to help understand these issues. As collective bargaining for the public sector is actually a relatively new phenomenon here in Missouri after the INE decision in 2007. Happy to answer your questions.
Okay, are there any questions of the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Be sure to fill out the witness form.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 549?
Afternoon, Chairman and honorable members of the committee. For the record, Clark Brown from SEIU, Service Employees International Union. We've had some interest in this legislation. We represent a substantial amount of public employees. One local alone that I work for has 13 public employee contracts. We have 3 contracts with the state. And I think I wanted to maybe message some fundamental side of this, that public employee unions have always not been extended the equivalent rights of private sector employees. And this, in our appearance, is just another action or piece of movement towards focusing on a core group of public employee unions. I know that there are 5+ unions that represent state employees. I think that this would be a disjustice to put us through elections every 2 years. I don't know, the sponsor spoke a little bit, but I don't know if it's clear about the process. Every time we renegotiate a contract, the employees have the right to petition, do what's called a showing of interest, and have the board run the election. So they have this window every time the contract's open. I actually, and personally in the House, testified. I've been through these certifications. I had one last April. It is not a retaliatory thing. I think an individual probably starts this effort of the decertification process. They get other co-workers to sign on. We, as the labor organization, are not even entitled to know that petitioner and that group of employees until that's all certified, and then that becomes a big protected group that had signed that petition. So I really don't think that an individual has any retaliation or exposure in doing that system. I think really the message about this, we run the State Board of Mediation here in Missouri for 50 years has followed the NLRB procedures about elections. The NLRB has been doing it 75 years. I don't know why we want to change the system. I'm sticking to the core principle of this bill about elections every 2 years. I think too, any absence of a worker actually stepping up here and saying this is something they want, I I think it's awful questionable about spending $2 million in the state to run elections. The fiscal summary shows there's over 600, something like 637, what I call the state board of mediation, public entities here in Missouri. And that's quite a large group of public employees to run elections when we don't know if the employees even want this. That's just the first year alone. I think the second year's note is almost $2.7 million. Enormous fiscal note. I don't know that the Department of Labor needs another 21 staff and 760 temporary employees to run these elections is an amazing piece that we think is unnecessary for the state, seeing that or the public agencies seeing that there's already a process available.
Are there any questions of this witness? Seeing none, thank you for testifying. Please be sure to fill out a witness form. Anyone else wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 540?
Yes, my name is Bob Forth, representing Teamsters Local 610. We have some currently we have some public employees, school bus drivers, and speaking about the 2-year recertification, currently they are on a 5-year contract, which was requested by the district. So the 2-year recertification would be a problem with that. Also with the decertification, they currently have laws that they can decertify if they're not happy with their representation, which only requires a petition of 30% of the members to grant that decertification vote, which is a lot easier than when we're trying to organize a group. We have to have a higher percentage to be able to organize a group. So at this time, I just want to say that we oppose the current bill. Thank you.
So you're saying the 2-year recertification might interfere with longer term contracts?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the witness? Seeing none, thank you very much. Be sure to fill out a witness form, sir. Next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Mike Wood, representing the Missouri State Teachers Association. I got the opportunity to meet with the sponsor of the bill this morning. I think we had a very good discussion on the bill. And first off, I don't work for a union. We are not a union. We are a 501c6, an educational organization. If this bill pertained only to a 501c5, you wouldn't see me here. So if you made it a C5, it doesn't necessarily pertain to us. My concern is in the second half of the bill dealing with the reporting requirements that are necessary. You take a lot of instances in Missouri school districts out there where you have a staff of maybe 50 or less. They may go in and have 2 meetings with the superintendent, talk about their salaries in the next year. What can we do? It's kind of an informal, not the collective bargaining where you sit across the table as may have been described before, but more of a collegial atmosphere to work. I'm afraid under the definitions of this bill that our locals are then going to have to meet the reporting requirements under there, which would just be too burdensome for them to do. So my concern is for those school districts out there that don't have the formal collective bargaining out there, as you think about it when you say collective bargaining. Okay, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, be sure to fill out a witness form. We are going to have about an extra 15 minutes or so. I'm being told to hear the other bill. So, yeah, and there may be other people. How many other people want to testify in opposition to this bill? Okay, if you're repeating your testimony, if you could try to limit that, come forward, testify, tell us who you are, and kind of make it quick. So please come forward and try not to repeat things that have already been said, just for in this essence of time.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Tony Kelly, I'm the president of the Missouri State Council of Firefighters. I will keep it very brief. We've been in contact with the senator's office and we've talked about our concerns on the bill, and a lot of them are mirrored in what was testimony today, but to some degree. But anyway, we're standing in opposition to the bill and appreciate it, any support we get, and be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions for this? Seeing none, thank you. Be sure to fill out a witness form next.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Ken Mendes with the Sheet Metal Air Ground and Transportation Union in opposition.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, be sure to fill out a witness form next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable members of the committee, my name is Bradley Harmon. I am not a lobbyist, I'm a social worker. I'm president of Local 6355 of the Communications Workers of America. We represent state employees who work for the Missouri Department of Social Services, Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. We are opposed to this bill. The thing that I would say that is new, Mr. Chairman, is I think we should really ask ourselves if the intention of this bill is actually to protect workers who want to exercise their right to choose whether or not they want to have union representation from intimidation or coercion. Number one, we ought to look at, is the current law already being enforced? Because that actually is already in the current law that says that it is illegal to intimidate, harass, or coerce someone for supporting or refusing to support a labor organization. Second question I think we ought to ask, if this bill is actually intended to protect workers from making their own choice and not trying to put their thumb on the scale of that choice, is why does this bill not do the opposite? Why doesn't this bill also require us to have biannual certification elections in public employer agencies that do not have union representation? Why isn't there an automatic, do you want to vote for having a union, at the same time that there's an automatic, do you want to vote against having a union? And I think if the bill was actually doing what the sponsor says he wants to do with the bill, that would be part of the provisions. Any questions you have, I'm happy to answer them.
Questions of this? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Be sure to fill out a witness form. Anyone else wishing to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 549? Anyone wishing to testify on an informational basis? Oh, okay. Are you in opposition or information?
Thank you. I'm Chaz Young with the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, which is the department that the State Board of Mediation rests within. And I did want to just come and talk a little bit about the fiscal note. And just to let you all know, the State Board of Mediation is in fact an agency with only 2 full-time employees. And so in order to undertake a task such as conducting roughly 700 or so elections at the exact same time around the state would be something similar to what the Secretary of State's office does. So it's as you know from other elections bills, that can be costly and expensive to do that. So we've put in the fiscal note what I think are some pretty conservative numbers. We believe we would need about 21 full-time staff throughout the year just to get ready for the elections, essentially figuring out who the bargaining units are, who is eligible to vote, where those elections would take place. The employer and the union have to agree on essentially the rules for each individual election. So there's not simply one blanket answer as to how elections are conducted for public workers in the state. So it is quite a time-consuming process. And then we think on actual election day, we would need about 760 just temporary employees that we would probably have to have in for a day or two for some sort of training and then to actually conduct the elections. So I hope that kind of gives you some clarity as to where the cost comes from in the note. We're estimating that in 16 it would be 1.8 million, and in 17 it would be 2.6 million, and another 1.5 in 18. And that would be a cost that would continue as long as the law ran in effect. So.
Okay. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Be sure to fill out a witness form. Anyone else for informational purposes? Seeing none, this brings us to a close the hearing on Senate Bill 549. We're now going to hear this last bill, which is House Bill 722. And you might just inform the vote before the name decision. If that's possible. So proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to present House Committee Substitute for House Bill 722 to you this afternoon. For the record, I am Dan Shaw, State Representative for the 113th District in Northeast Jefferson County. House Bill 722 has become labeled the paper or plastic bill. This bill will guarantee that consumers and retailers alike maintain their right to choose between paper and plastic. It further states that the choice between paper and or plastic be free from taxation and government fees and bans. This bill will accomplish the following: ensure that retailers have the opportunity to choose to offer paper and/or plastic to their customers in their place of business. It also ensures that consumers can exercise their right to choose a paper or plastic bag. And if they choose, that choice will be free of any taxation, fee, or ban. As I know we're short on time, I'll keep it very short. House Committee Substitute House Bill 722 is more than just a bill about bags. It's a bill about ensuring that our everyday freedoms are protected, that will not fall prey to the left or right coast ideology by using emotional science to support their agendas. With that, I will answer any questions the committee may have.
Are there questions of the sponsors? Senator Hunt? It's my understanding that plastic bags, much maligned, they're not actually made from petroleum, they're made from, is that right, natural gas?
A large segment of the plastic bags actually come from a byproduct of natural gas production. So basically reducing that pollution as well.
Thank you. Further questions? See none. Do you have any witnesses?
I think there's a couple here.
Okay. Those in favor of House Bill 722?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is David Overfelt, and today I'm representing the Missouri Grocers Association, the Missouri Retailers Association, and Associated Industries of Missouri. And that byproduct from the natural gas used to just be burned off. So, I mean, and the main point about these bags, they're made in the USA with USA workers. They're reusable bags. The vast majority of those bags are made in China out of petroleum, and they are not recyclable like the plastic bags you see at the grocery store. The same plastic that's used to make milk jugs, the plastic you put your vegetables in, on all those materials. I mean, a lot of times these type of bans, they'll ban the bag, but they won't ban the bag if it's used to put vegetables and other produce in that you sweat, the thing goes in the paper bag. A lot of consumers reuse these bags for a number of things. I recycle them, and almost every retailer that I work with recycles them now. You can go in Staples, etc., and you will see a container for voluntary recycling of these types of bags. Frankly, the way we look at it is that we feel that there are some things that consumers that should be statewide, just like the Commerce Clause nationwide, and retailers feel that you shouldn't put one area, you shouldn't pit one area against another area, and we know this does draw traffic if you do have these types of bans and taxes.
Okay, any questions of the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Be sure to fill out a witness form. Anyone else in favor of House Bill 722?
Yes, Chairman, my name is Phillips. I'm the Director of Sustainability for Novolex. I'm representing the American Progressive Bag Alliance, which is the trade association for the manufacturers of plastic retail bags in the United States. I also represent Novolex. We're a leading manufacturer of both plastic and paper in the United States, and one of the largest recyclers of the plastic bags that are bought in the stores. That said, our association employs over 30,000 people in the United States, with 600 here in Missouri. My company alone has over 100 employees in St. Louis manufacturing plastic retail bags, so this is about local jobs here. The 3 points that I would like to bring to the committee is, one, this is also about jobs, because the alternatives that we're driving people to are imported products from China that are actually made from oil, all are about misaligned. The second major point is, when we interact with these cities, when these discussions are happening, we're finding out that the vast majority of the facts that are presented to the cities are myths. It's emotional science, as it was said. It's just not true. I heard recently in discussions in the state, it was portrayed as they're toxic. That was the main point to drive discussions recently in the state. As I say, this is the same material we make milk jugs out of. It's not toxic. And that's what's concerning about this, is there's an actual strategy to go after the city with false science so they can drag the state and drive this bill to be a ban at the state level. So that would be the second point, that this is all being driven on myths. And I could go into a lot more of that, but it is concerning about that for the state. The third part is, when we see jurisdictions that have implemented this, there's many drastic unintended consequences that go along with this. The first thing is, it was reported after San Francisco did this, the area stormwater management agencies, that yes, you can ban a product and go away, but it produced no reduction in litter, because plastic bags were less than 1% when you're done. When statistical studies look at it, it's such a small percentage. This is feel good policy, it's not meaningful. So they're not producing litters. Shoplifting has increased about 40% of stores in Seattle and Thurston, Washington, after they were surveyed after this. Reusable bags are a common vehicle for theft. There's a lot of other unintended consequences. I'm going to keep my comments short because I'm in short on time, but I feel other materials committee if required. But so one, this is about jobs. Two, it's being driven by myths, not facts. And third, these policies have unintended consequences that are worse than what's being portrayed in the myths. So our industry association and our company supports this bill as it's good in the state of Missouri.
Are there questions to this witness? Seeing none, thank you. Be sure to fill out the witness form. Anyone else wishing to testify in favor of House Bill 722?
Chairman, in the interest of time, Brad Jones with the NFIB. We fully support this legislation.
All right. Any questions of the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Next, in favor.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Tracy King, here representing the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We'd like to go on record in support, and I will also would like to submit a support for the Missouri Restaurant Association. Brent Campbell was not able to be here to lend his support.
Okay, we'll accept that. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Next, in favor.
Good afternoon, Erica Leonard here with you today in support of the bill on behalf of the Missouri Petroleum Marketers and Convenience Store Association.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Next.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Michael Brody, appearing on behalf of citizens for a better Columbia, and also like to go on record in support of the legislation.
Okay, questions of the witness? Seeing none, thank you. Be sure to fill out the witness form. Anyone else in favor of House Bill 722? Does anyone wish to testify in opposition to House Bill 722?
Good afternoon, Chairman. I'm Jeff Schaaf with the Missouri Fellowship of Reconciliation. Thank you, Schaaf. I realize that these bags are convenient, they're pretty easy, but I think that we need to think in terms of being good stewards of our earth as well. These plastics do not break down, and to look at the impact of them environmentally, there's currently an area about the size, this is from National Geographic, there's a area of plastic under refuse in the Pacific Ocean the size of Texas. We continue to make this stuff, it doesn't break down. I think that, it promotes jobs for many, but I think that we need to be mindful of how, of what we're doing to our environment. And I think the paper is far better biodegradable. I too do recycle with these bags. I'm glad for doing that individually. It's a good thing because we drive around our communities, we see bags all over the place. They don't get taken care of as much as we'd like. There are pickups, and I appreciate that. The other issue, I guess, is that communities, individual communities, if they wish to exert some local control, I mean, that's something that we pride ourselves in the state, that, local municipalities, they should be able to have choice. For instance, in Columbia, if people there want to have no plastic bags, let them, allow that opportunity for local entities. I'd be glad to take any questions.
Are there any questions of the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Be sure to fill out a witness form. Anyone else wishing to testify in opposition to House Bill 722? Seeing none, anyone wishing to testify on an informational basis? Seeing none, this will close the hearing on House Bill 722, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Second. Thank you. Okay, we're adjourned.
It is. That's just our comment.